Welcome everybody, my name is Wade Galt, and for the last 8+ years, I've been living a life that I'd aimed towards of having a 3-day weekend or similar lifestyle just about all of the time. Now, when I first started out about 7-8 years ago, I was really focused on having a 4-day work week, 3-day weekend. I had tried to do that for years as an entrepreneur and had struggled with it, went back and forth, and really finally got on top of it. And now as our children are getting a little older, sometimes I flex from that, but I work somewhere between 28 to 34 hours a week, have a small business, a software business, coaching business. I've been doing a lot of things like this for years. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned about creating a 3-day weekend lifestyle. So I have a coaching program called 3-Day Weekends in 3 months. And in that program, I help entrepreneurs create this abundant and sustainable 3-day weekend lifestyle. And in that program, we do a lot of things around helping people understand just what's most important to them. What are their priorities? What's their why? Why are they most interested in doing the things that are most important to them? And how do they create a lifestyle that they get to enjoy? And what I want to share with you is basically the content that I share in that program. So I'm going to be teaching this program in here, sharing the same exact content that I share in that program. And I'm just going to teach you, hey, this is what I found works. This is what I do. And hopefully this is something that can help you run with it. If after looking at the content, you need additional help, you can always connect with me and go deeper into it. But what I want to do is really just share with you a simple focus. And so the focus of the program is based on a concept and it's targeted for a certain person. So I want to be really clear about also who this can help sort of right of way and maybe who it might take perhaps a little bit longer. But basically the program was designed for entrepreneurs who are already making their target income. And so some people that I'd work with, some of my coaching clients, I'd work with them. And as I talked with them, I'd ask them how things were going financially, and they'd be doing more than fine financially, but they weren't enjoying their life. They weren't enjoying life outside of work. And the analogy I would use is they were kind of like Forrest Gump running past the finish line. Have you seen the movie Forrest Gump? He runs in a race and then he keeps running and sometimes they got to tell him, stop. They got to get him to stop running. And a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with have that kind of a situation sometimes where they are working so hard. They're doing so many different things that they can't seem to find the time to make things happen, to make it to where life is enjoyable. And so what I'm going to share with you is a simple way that you can start thinking about your work, about your life, about your business, and doing it in a way that allows you to make sure that you're enjoying things. And so in this program, the 3-Day Weekends in 3 months, each week basically it's a 12-week program. Each week there's a certain area of focus. And in the first week, what we do is we focus on your definitions for your vision for your life. And we talk about writing your life. And part of writing your life is being able to have the freedom for it to be the way you like. Now, what I'm going to do in here is rather than go into a lot of philosophy, I'm going to go right into the content and the exercises we focus on. And in the coaching program, what we do is we'll have people answer these questions, they'll do the work, and then after the fact, we will discuss the implications, and as they implement them week by week, we'll talk about, okay, well, what did you run into? What worked? What didn't work? One of the things, if you haven't yet heard or maybe been made aware of, if you look at the concept of the difference between coaching and training, training is a lot about saying, hey, here's how it should be. I'm going to teach you how to do X, and when all things go right, here's how you do something. And that's training. Coaching is when you say, okay, the real world just happened. Things aren't exactly the way I'd like them to be. What do I do now? How do I address that? And that is coaching, right? How do you deal with the obstacles? So the first thing in your freedom, we want to look at what does freedom look like in your best life? Now, the way I like to help people understand this is to be very specific because freedom can mean so many different things. And specifically, the first place we look at is what type of experiences do you want to enjoy in life? What are most important to you? And so if you look at on a daily basis, you might say, well, Wade, I want to exercise. I want to be able to sleep in. I want to I don't know, have dinner with my family, whatever it might be. So on a daily basis, what do you want to do? On a weekly basis, what are experiences you want to have? Wait, I want to watch a football game. I want to watch, or I want to go out with my friends, my family. I want to have a date night with my spouse or my significant other, whatever it might be. On a monthly basis, what are those things? I want to go on maybe a weekend getaway with my significant other, whatever that might be. I want to take my family somewhere on an adventure. Annually, once a year, yes, I want to do certain things. And then once in a lifetime, you might say, Wade, why would I only do things once in a lifetime? You might say, well, Wade, I want to travel to a certain place. I want to visit this one place. I don't need to visit it every year, but I've always wanted to visit so-and-so. Or I've always wanted to, I don't know, go to London and see Wimbledon. I've always wanted to, I don't know, go somewhere and see something that's very specific to that area. And so that's what the first definition can look like. And what you can see, and this is true for anybody, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're not an entrepreneur, as you start getting clear just about this, a lot of these things don't tie into your work. So it does not mean you have to have more money or more income. It could just mean, okay, you need to make time for these things and put some of these things as a priority. It might be choosing these things over other things. The second thing is, what relationships do you want to invest your time in? And there might be some overlap here. And you might say, wait, I already put some of those things in the experiences. So the experiences might be more hobbies. I happen to play beach volleyball anywhere from 1 to 2 times a week. That's very important to me. I grew up playing it. It keeps me young. In the years I've not played it, I'm not as happy. I'm a bit of a grouch. So that's important. Relationship-wise, love time with my family. Love being able to go to the beach with my wife once a week, as long as that's possible. Sometimes just being present for my family. We go on annual vacations. Again, what are those things? Once in your life, you might say, wait, why would I want a once in a life relationship? Maybe you want to meet somebody. Wait, I've always wanted to meet, for example, I always want to meet Sting, the lead singer of the Police. I'd love to meet Bono. There's certain people that I would just love to meet. I mean, I'm not against meeting them more than once, but I'd at least like to meet them once. And so those are things, again, that would be something that maybe once in a lifetime. What would be removed from your life? What would need that to be removed in order for you to feel free? Or it could be from your work. You might say, wait, if I didn't have to do certain types of work, or if I didn't have to deal with certain types of clients, or certain situations, or email, or whatever it might be, or editing my podcast, who knows, whatever it is, that would make me feel free. And then what would I add to my work or my life to feel free? Wait, if I knew if I could get a massage once a month, if I could go on a trip once a quarter. So again, it might seem kind of simple. And this is part of the thing, again, the difference between coaching and training. This is more of a coaching exercise. A training exercise, I might be telling you, here's how you make the time to do that. And that is something that can also be done. But specifically, I just first start with the bigger question, kind of like if you're talking to AI, just the quality of the information you get from AI, from something like ChatGPT, is going to be based on just even the quality of the questions you ask. That's a very famous quote of Tony Robbins. The quality of your life is often determined by the quality of your questions. Dan Sullivan says something very similar, the gentleman who is the head of the Strategic Coach. And so just getting a sense of what you want is a great place to start. So that's freedom. The second thing I find most people look as entrepreneurs at is impact. You might say, wait, when is money coming in? Money usually comes later. Money is important, but money is usually more of the fuel, not the actual vehicle, not the actual end result. So some of the more successful entrepreneurs I've worked with, not only do they have a clear sense of the experiences they want, they're very clear about on what impact would look like in their best life. And so what they want to help others achieve. So I'd ask you, what do you want to help others achieve in their lives? Do you want to help them have certain experiences, enjoy certain relationships? Do you want to help them achieve certain things? Maybe you want to help them have some sort of experience of healing or growth. Everybody is wired differently. Your goal, your purpose, your reason, your why might not be to make 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. Some people get so caught up with this concept, even 6 figures might or might not be your calling. I know plenty of people are extremely happy as teachers. They're not making 6 figures, they're doing what they love. Second thing, what can you share in your work that will help others? Maybe there's certain tools you have, certain talents. There might be wisdom that you're sharing with other people. There might be relationships that you can connect them with people who can help them, like Dan Sullivan mentions in his book, Who Not How. There might be certain skills that you can share with them that would help others. And so as you get clear about that, again, these are to a certain degree broad questions, and yet if you're clear about your answers to these, it's going to help you really hone in on where you're looking to go. If you have kids and they're looking at colleges and thinking, well, where do I go? What do I focus on? Look, I'd first ask them, what do you want from this? Because you could perhaps be somebody that helps people in a lot of different industries and a lot of different even specific jobs and still make either a little bit of money, a lot of money, have a little bit of freedom, a lot of freedom, if you're clear about what impact looks like. Specifically, what are 3 ways you could reach and impact more people in the next 90 days? So already you're going to see I'm going to start bringing the focus to, if this was happening over the next 90 days, what would you do? If you could make 2 or 3 things happen for the people that you serve, could be people in your community, could be people who are customers who pay you, could be your family. What would make that impact? And then specifically, if you could give 1 gift in your lifetime to your clients, what would that gift be? So when I think about that gift for me, the answer to that question, it has a few words. It's not a one-word thing, but it's basically a sense of being able to be present and enjoy life with family and friends, and to know that there's time to, yes, make a big impact in people's lives, to earn a lot of money. But as, where is it here? As my hat says, there is time to play 3 days and hustle 4. There's time to make, to make an impact in people's lives. And there's also time to be able to enjoy life outside of work. And so that would be what I'd give people, that perspective, that wisdom, that sense of patience and pace to say, yes, I'm going to get these things done and I am going to focus, but I also am going to make sure I have time to live and enjoy life. The third thing, and this gets a little more specific, we start going more from an open-ended conversation, the more abstract, the more concrete things. How would you invest your time in your best life? And think about this. If you were not allowed to retire, how much would you work? And I ask this question because I've worked with so many people, and I know so many people who've either retired or changed their retirement plans, and so many people have found it's not what they think it is. I've met many people that have officially pulled the plug on retirement. They're financially able to retire, and then they found themselves bored within 3 to 6 to 9 months. And if you think about it, these people, most of the ones I'm talking about are entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, and we're roughly about 1 out of 10 people on the planet, so 1/10 of the population, we're at least on one dimension, business-wise, we're the most driven for the most part, or up there in the top driven. There's obviously some driven executives, employees, but we're some of the most driven people on the planet. What's going to make you think that after having our motor running for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that we're going to just want to stop and play golf or fish? And yes, you can still say, well, I'm going to be competitive in my golf or competitive in my fishing, or whatever it is, or sit on the beach. And so many people, when I work with them or just talk to them and say, well, hey, imagine you're 60 or 70. I'm about to turn 52. When I was younger, I thought 52, I might have a walker. I thought things would be very different. 52, I'm nowhere near wanting to slow down. And so if you were to ask me, and I'm doing this, there was a time when I worked 60 hours a week, and then 50, then 45, then 40. Now I work somewhere between 28 to 35, depending on the week. And it's a pace that I like. I want to work. I very much want to work. I just don't want to do it all the time. And so think about it. This year, how many days per week and how many hours a day would you be working? And then what would that look like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? And it doesn't have to be specific. So again, I'm even learning. I started this brand. The brand is specifically called 3-Day Weekend Entrepreneur. And I'm finding myself now more often because our kids are in high school and their schedules are different. So sometimes there'll be time for me to go watch, let's say, my son's basketball game or my daughter's volleyball game in the middle of the week. And that might take away from a traditional schedule. I used to completely take Fridays off altogether, but now I play my volleyball in the morning, and now I play volleyball on Wednesday morning as well. And so, well, I still got to work sometime. So now I'm working more Wednesday afternoons and Friday afternoons. Bottom line, the theme, I have time to enjoy the things that are most important. So what would that look like for you? And then how many vacations and days off, other than your just regular weekends, would you want to take? So this year, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, how many vacations do you want? And how many days off do you want to be able to do that? And again, it doesn't have to happen right away, but this starts to give a shape to this. What are the next 3 major vacations you want to take? So what's the description of that? Who would you take it with? What's the time you need, the money you need, and the target date? And again, this starts making things very specific to say, okay, these are now starting to become goals. How do I make this happen? So again, we're already going from the abstract into the very concrete. And then what are 3 mini vacations so that we're making progress? We're not just putting things out a year from now or a year and a half from now or 5 years from now. What are 3 mini vacations you could take in the next 90 days? It could be a day, a half day, an overnight, a weekend getaway. What would that look like for you and or your family or your loved ones? And so now, if you're clear about the experiences you want to have, the lifestyle you want to have, the types of ways you want to invest your time and the impact you want to make, now you start getting clear about, okay, well, there's going to be a certain amount of income that's necessary to support this life. What would that income look like? And so the first thing I like to ask entrepreneurs, especially since so many of us have so many different business models, what would it look like to grow your income over the upcoming years? So you might have some products that are what I would call DIY product, do-it-yourself products. So let's say books, audiobooks, products you sell, physical products. So when the person buys it, they don't need any of your help. They can do it themselves. You know, the hat, you can just put on the hat. It's a DIY product. Then there's DWI services done with you where you're helping somebody. How much money do you have with done for you services where you're actually doing the service for them? So coaching is more of a done with you service. A done for you service might be something like where you're hiring for somebody or making something for them. And a residual income would be, let's say, maybe a software as a service business. It might be, maybe you're an insurance agency owner, you have residual income, whatever it might be. But what would those income streams look like in the next 90 days, 12 months, 3 years, or 10 years? And then what work must you eliminate so that you can achieve these goals? What work should be delegated? So the eliminate would be stuff you'd say, not only should I not be doing this, but nobody should be doing this. It's not very important. The delegate would be work that you say, yeah, that's important. It's just I'm not going to be the one to do it. Stuff you need to maintain, you might not love it, but you say, I need to maintain this stuff because it's important. Stuff you're going to focus on, say, I want to grow this, and then learn might be things that are not even on your plate right now. But you say, yeah, I'd really like to do that. I'd like to make that happen. What are 3 ways you could double your income this year? Now, this might not be easy. It might not be sexy. If the answer is work twice as many hours, I encourage you, let's think of something at least slightly different than that. If you're in sales, it wouldn't necessarily be to double your hours. It could be maybe double your leads, double your sales. And then finally, what one project could make a year's worth of income in the next 90 days? And maybe there is no project like that, but it's a concept, something to think about, because that would start directing you in the area to say, okay, these are the things that could support the life and the lifestyle I'm really looking to create. And again, not all of this is going to happen in 90 days, but starting to get clear about what can happen is a great place to start. And once we do this, then what I suggest you do to really kind of wrap it up in the sense of making it a lot more relevant, a lot more concrete for you, is to then get clear about what's your current schedule. And if you have that current schedule and you map that out to say, okay, here's where I'm investing my time. And then secondly, what would be that desired weekly schedule? And again, that could be something that might take you a year to get there, 2 years to get there, no problem, 5 years. What would you like it to be like? And then what changes what you make? And so in this new weekly schedule, you would not need to rewrite the whole schedule, but you might say, okay, this week I'm adding this to my schedule. Week 1, I'm going to start working out this time. Week 2, I'm going to start doing this. Week 3, I'm going to delegate this, whatever it might be. And if every week you made one change to 1 hour of your week, after 12 weeks, you could make a 12-hour change in how you're investing your time. So this is an overview of how to start this. Again, this is the component that is called the Write Your Own Life piece. And there's one other piece to this, and it's a milestone, and that is to stop work on time every day. So if you set a time and you know you're wanting to be home for dinner with your family or whatever it might be, and the time is 6 o'clock, start developing that discipline of stopping on time every day. And as you do that, you're going to find that it develops a sense of control of your schedule, a greater sense of power, of influence over your own time. And it's going to make it a lot more likely that you're able to fully impact your schedule and how you do these things. So again, thank you for listening. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. You'll see a link below it if you'd like. You can access the workbook that allows you to go through this. As always, I look forward to helping you impact more people and make more money in less time doing what you do best so you can fully enjoy your family, your friends, your freedom, and your life. Whether you decide to simply take the content from this and use the workbook and do it yourself, or if you'd like to join over our coaching groups, you'd like some individual help from me, let me know. Either way is fine. I look forward to helping you make time so you can fully enjoy what you most wanted to do, the life, the lifestyle you envisioned when you started as an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for showing up. And again, let me know what I can do to serve you. We'll be here again next week.